How narcissists react after long no contact. There is something that changes when you stop contacting a narcissistic person, and more importantly, when you remain completely unavailable for an extended period of time. At first, they may assume your silence is temporary. They may expect you to become emotional, reach out, explain yourself, or eventually return to the familiar pattern. But when the silence continues for weeks or months, something much deeper begins to happen. The dynamic they once depended on starts to disappear. The important thing to understand is that long-term no contact is not simply the absence of conversation. It is the removal of access. A narcissistic person who became accustomed to your attention may have relied on your reactions to feel important, powerful, validated, or emotionally significant. Your anger could provide stimulation. Your explanations could provide reassurance. Your arguments could prove that they still had an emotional effect on you. Even your attempts to defend yourself could reinforce the sense that they remained important in your life. Then suddenly, there is nothing. No explanation, no argument, no emotional reaction, no reassurance, no opportunity to pull you back into the same cycle. That silence can create a psychological disturbance because the familiar feedback system has been interrupted. When you first disappear, they may not immediately believe that you are serious. They may tell themselves that you are simply upset and will eventually come back. They may expect you to break the silence because that has happened before. But when the days turn into weeks and the weeks turn into months, the message becomes harder to ignore. You are no longer participating. And that is often where the real reaction begins. Long no contact can create a very different experience from ordinary heartbreak. A healthy breakup may involve sadness, reflection, disappointment, and eventually acceptance. A person may think about what went wrong, recognize their own mistakes, and gradually process the loss. With narcissistic dynamics, the reaction can be much more centered around access, influence, and control. The person may not simply be asking, "Why did this relationship end?" Instead, the internal question may become, "Why can't I reach this person anymore?" That distinction matters. When someone has become accustomed to having emotional influence over you, losing that influence can feel deeply unsettling. They cannot read your emotional state. They cannot predict what you are thinking. They cannot easily provoke you. They cannot determine whether you are upset, lonely, angry, confused, or moving forward. You become unreadable. And for someone who is accustomed to monitoring another person's reactions, that uncertainty can be extremely uncomfortable. In the past, pushing a certain button may have produced a predictable result. A criticism might have triggered an argument. A silent treatment might have caused you to chase. A dramatic accusation might have forced you to defend yourself. A sudden apology might have opened the door again. Every reaction provided information. No contact removes the information. That is why silence can become so powerful. you are not giving them material to work with. People often assume that confrontation is stronger than silence because confrontation allows you to explain your pain. But in many narcissistic relationships, an argument still creates connection. Even when the connection is negative, it is still connection. If you are angry, they know they still affect you. If you are defending yourself, they know you are still engaged. If you are trying to convince them of your value, they know you still care about how they see you. If you are repeatedly explaining why their behavior hurt you, they know the emotional door is still open. Silence changes that equation. Silence communicates something completely different. It says, you no longer have automatic access to me. That can be far more difficult for a controlling personality to tolerate than a heated argument. An argument creates a battlefield. Silence removes the battlefield. There is nothing to win. There is no debate to dominate. There is no emotional reaction to manipulate. There is no conversation to twist. There is simply absence. And when the absence continues, the person may begin to experience the uncomfortable reality that your life is continuing without their participation. After a long period of no contact, confusion can become one of the earliest internal reactions. They may wonder what happened. Why aren't you responding? Why didn't you react to that message? Why didn't that indirect attempt get your attention? Why didn't you respond when someone mentioned them? Why did you stop explaining yourself? Why do you seem different? The mind often returns to previous patterns looking for an explanation. They remember what worked before. They think about old conversations. They may replay moments when they had emotional influence over you. But the goal may not necessarily be understanding what you felt. The focus can instead be on identifying the point at which influence was lost. They may essentially be trying to solve a puzzle. What changed? What stopped working? What can I do that will get a response? That uncertainty can create growing anxiety, and anxiety, especially when mixed with wounded pride, can quickly become anger. Helplessness is an uncomfortable emotional experience for anyone. But when a person is heavily invested in maintaining an image of superiority, control, or importance, helplessness can feel especially threatening. Anger can then become a psychological escape from vulnerability. Instead of feeling, I don't know what to do, the internal reaction can become, how dare they do this to me? Instead of thinking, I may have lost this person permanently, it can become, they are disrespectful. Instead of facing uncertainty, the mind creates blame. This is one reason why a narcissistic person can become furious about being ignored, even when they were the one who mistreated the other person. The issue may not be the quality of the relationship. The issue may be that access has been removed. And those are two very different experiences. A person can reject someone while still believing they should be able to return whenever they choose. Long no contact challenges that assumption. One of the most painful aspects of prolonged no contact can be what is often described as an ego injury. This is not simply hurt feelings. It is the disruption of a person's internal story about who they are and how significant they are. Someone who is strongly dependent on external validation may need other people to reflect back an image of importance, desirability, superiority, or control. Attention becomes evidence. Admiration becomes evidence. Fear becomes evidence. Conflict can even become evidence. As long as someone reacts, there is confirmation that the narcissistic person still matters. But what happens when there is no reaction at all? The mirror disappears. There is no reflection. And without that external reflection, an unstable self-image can become much harder to maintain. The silence can communicate something without saying a single word. You do not control my emotional world anymore. That can be a profound blow to someone who expected to remain central. A narcissistic person may be deeply concerned with how others perceive them. They may wonder whether you still think about them, whether you miss them, whether you regret leaving, whether you have become happier, whether you are telling other people what happened, whether others are beginning to see through their image, whether you have replaced them emotionally, and perhaps most importantly, do I still matter to this person? When there is no answer, their imagination can fill the empty space. They may begin creating explanations. Perhaps you are pretending to be happy. Perhaps you are secretly miserable. Perhaps you will eventually return. Perhaps someone else is influencing you. Perhaps you are trying to punish them. These narratives can protect the ego because they prevent one difficult possibility from being fully accepted. Maybe you really have moved on. Maybe your silence is genuine. And maybe they are no longer central to your life. That realization can be extremely uncomfortable. When a narcissistic person cannot regain access, one possible defense is devaluation. Instead of accepting this person decided they no longer want this relationship, the mind may construct a different story. They were never that important. They were difficult. They were weak. They were unstable. They were ungrateful. They were the problem. This is psychologically protective because it changes the meaning of the rejection. The person no longer has to think, I was rejected. They can tell themselves, I rejected them. That difference protects the ego. It also avoids accountability. Healthy reflection might lead someone to ask, what did I contribute to the breakdown of this relationship? But if accountability threatens the person's self-image, blame can become much easier. The other person becomes the villain. The narcissistic person becomes the victim. And the original behavior disappears beneath the rewritten story. After a significant period of silence, direct contact may stop, while curiosity increases. This is where monitoring can enter the picture. They may look at social media. They may notice changes in your appearance or lifestyle. They may ask mutual acquaintances about you. They may quietly gather information. They may want to know whether you are struggling or thriving. Are you dating? Are you traveling? Are you successful? Are you sad? Are you talking about the relationship? Are you completely silent? every small piece of information can become meaningful. The goal may not necessarily be emotional closure. It can simply be information gathering. Information creates a sense of control. Even if they are not speaking to you, knowing what is happening in your life can make them feel less powerless. And this is one reason why genuine emotional detachment can be so unsettling. If they discover that you are suffering, they may feel reassured that they still matter. If they discover that you are thriving, they may experience the opposite. Your happiness can become evidence that their influence is fading. Your peace can become evidence that you no longer need the relationship. Your indifference can communicate something anger never could. This is no longer emotionally important to me. Anger still contains emotional investment. When someone is furious with you, they are thinking about you. When someone is arguing with you, they are engaging with you. When someone is trying to prove something to you, they still care about the interaction. Indifference is different. Indifference does not offer much emotional information. You can no longer easily tell what is happening inside the person. That uncertainty can be deeply frustrating for someone who has become accustomed to reading and influencing your emotions. They may therefore become more curious precisely because you have become less reactive. And that can lead to another stage. When direct access disappears, attempts to regain contact may eventually appear. These attempts are often called hoovering because the person is trying to pull you back into the previous relational pattern. Early attempts may be obvious: a sudden apology, an emotional message, a declaration that they have changed, a statement that they miss you, a dramatic confession, a reminder of a shared memory. But when obvious approaches do not work, the approach can become much more subtle. The message may suddenly sound practical. They may ask an innocent question. They may send something that looks accidental. They may bring up an old inside joke. They may appear unusually polite. They may act as though nothing serious ever happened. The purpose of these messages may not be reconciliation. Sometimes the first objective is much smaller: get a response. Because once communication resumes, the door is no longer completely closed. And once the door is open, the old dynamic may become easier to rebuild. Not every attempt comes directly from the narcissistic person. Sometimes other people become part of the process. A mutual friend may suddenly mention them. Someone may casually tell you that they are doing wonderfully. Another person might tell you that they are going through a difficult period. You may hear that they have changed. You may hear that they regret everything. You may hear that they are asking about you. The information can be designed, intentionally or unintentionally, to create an emotional response. Pity can reopen a door. Guilt can reopen a door. Curiosity can reopen a door. Jealousy can reopen a door. Even anger can reopen a door. From the perspective of long no contact, the important question is not simply whether the message is positive or negative. The important question is whether it pulls you emotionally back into the old system. Attempts at reconnection may also appear during emotionally significant moments, such as birthdays, anniversaries, holidays, major personal milestones, periods when you seem vulnerable, or even moments when you are visibly succeeding. Success can be threatening because it demonstrates growth. Seeing you become healthier, happier, more financially stable, more confident, or more socially connected can challenge the old narrative that you could not thrive without them. So a sudden appearance during a major life event may not always be random. Sometimes it is simply an attempt to discover whether they still hold emotional importance. One of the most confusing experiences after a long period of no contact is when the person suddenly appears mature. They are calm, respectful, patient, polite, maybe even reflective. They may say the exact things you once wanted to hear. They may sound emotionally intelligent. They may appear less dramatic than before. This can create tremendous confusion. But calm behavior alone does not automatically prove meaningful personal growth. A person can learn which behaviors no longer work without fundamentally changing the reasons behind those behaviors. If aggression failed, they may try kindness. If guilt failed, they may try vulnerability. If dramatic messages failed, they may try a casual tone. If chasing failed, they may pretend they do not care. The presentation changes. The underlying objective may remain the same: reestablish emotional access. That is why behavior over time matters more than a single emotional conversation. Eventually, long-term silence creates a reality that becomes difficult to escape. If direct messages fail, indirect messages fail. Social media monitoring provides no useful information. Mutual contacts cannot reopen communication, and emotional triggers produce no response. The entire system loses momentum. The attempts may become less frequent, then more distant, and then perhaps disappear. But it is important to understand why that happens. It is not necessarily because the person finally understood everything. It may simply be because repeated attempts are producing no psychological reward. No reaction means no reinforcement. No reinforcement means fewer reasons to continue. This is one of the strongest reasons no contact can work as a boundary. It does not require winning. It does not require proving the narcissistic person wrong. It does not require making them understand your pain. It does not require convincing them that they behaved badly. It simply removes your participation. When a narcissistic person realizes they cannot regain access, another psychological process may begin. The story gets rewritten. The relationship may suddenly be described in an entirely different way. What was once presented as a great connection may become toxic. You may suddenly be portrayed as unstable. Their own harmful behavior may disappear from the narrative. The breakup may be described as entirely your fault. This can be confusing if you were there when the events actually happened, but rewriting reality can serve an important defensive function. If accepting reality means admitting, I lost control, I hurt someone, I was rejected, I was responsible, or I could not get them back, then the emotional cost may feel unbearable. So, the story changes. The facts may be rearranged psychologically until the narcissistic person can once again see themselves as powerful, justified, desirable, or misunderstood. You may become the villain in the story because that version is easier for the ego to tolerate. And this is why arguing with their rewritten narrative often accomplishes very little. You are trying to correct facts. They may be protecting an identity. Those are not the same thing. The longer the silence continues, the clearer something becomes. The relationship was not sustainable because of how much you explained. It was sustained by the interaction itself, the arguments, the emotional reactions, the attempts to repair, the attempts to prove yourself, the hope that things would finally become different. When you remove yourself from that system, the cycle loses the fuel it depended on. This does not mean every narcissistic person reacts in exactly the same way. Not everyone will monitor you. Not everyone will hoover. Not everyone will become openly angry. Some may simply move toward another source of validation. Some may create a new narrative and disappear. Some may return years later. The specific behavior can vary, but the central lesson remains the same. Your job is not to predict every reaction. Your job is to protect the boundary, because no contact becomes powerful, not when you use it to make someone else suffer, but when you use it to reclaim your own emotional freedom. Perhaps the most important part of long no contact is not what happens inside the narcissistic person's mind. It is what happens inside yours. At the beginning, you may spend your time wondering, are they thinking about me? Will they come back? Why haven't they contacted me? Are they angry? Do they regret what they did? Those questions are understandable, but eventually, healing can mean asking entirely different questions. Why does their reaction matter so much to me? What do I want my life to look like now? What did I learn from this experience? What boundaries do I need going forward? What kind of relationships do I want in the future? That is the deeper purpose of no contact. Not to manipulate someone into missing you, not to make them jealous, not to punish them, not to wait for the day they finally understand your value. No contact is most powerful when it stops being a strategy for influencing them and becomes a commitment to protecting yourself. The goal is not to make the narcissistic person feel powerless. The goal is to make sure they no longer have power over your emotional life. And those are very different things. When you stop checking whether they have noticed your absence, you become freer. When you stop wondering whether they regret losing you, you become freer. When you stop waiting for an apology, you become freer. When their opinion of you no longer determines how you feel about yourself, you become freer. And eventually, there may come a point where the question is no longer, how is the narcissist reacting to my silence? The question becomes, why am I still looking back? That is often where genuine healing begins. Long no contact does not guarantee that another person will change. It does not guarantee that they will understand. It does not guarantee that they will apologize. It does not guarantee that they will stop trying to return. What it can do is change your relationship with the cycle. It can give you space. It can create clarity. It can help you recognize patterns without participating in them. And it can remind you that another person's reaction does not have to determine your next move. Their confusion is theirs. Their anger is theirs. Their story is theirs. Their need for validation is theirs. You do not have to carry it. You do not have to answer it. And you do not have to return to a dynamic simply because someone has decided they want access to you again. Sometimes the most powerful response is not another explanation. It is consistency. It is distance. It is peace. It is moving forward without needing the other person to understand why. And when you reach the point where your silence is no longer something you are doing to get a reaction, but simply the natural result of choosing a healthier life, that is when the cycle truly begins to lose its hold over you.